All right, hello. Welcome to your reading. So we are using today the Nomad Tarot deck and the Dependent Voice deck from Miss Nancy Hess. We're going to be getting some messages from your dead people, and this can be from people around you or from just relatives. And then I pulled 5 cards from the Nomad Tarot deck for you. So before we get started, I want you to take a nice deep breath in as you're listening to this and a deep breath out. And just kind of focus on yourself getting grounded and what you need. Okay, so we're going to take one more deep breath in and out. Just kind of let everything go. All right. Now that we focused on that, let's get into your reading. So your first card that we pulled is our Four of Swords, which in this deck, it looks like 4 feathers. Okay, so the Four of Swords is really talking about, sorry, I'm hearing that I need to pull from another deck. They're stopping me because you need a corresponding card to this card, which is fine. Okay, so the Four of Swords is a card that talks a lot about rest. This might be a month of rest for you, and that's okay because everybody needs. They're talking about like needing a moment to relive some things and to not be so harsh on ourselves and to look at how going all over the place is not really beneficial to you, and it has not helped you so far. So we need a moment of rest, just relaxation, something just for you. And the corresponding card I got with this, as I do Oracle and Tarot, and so you have the Rebel deck. I forgot the name of this deck. You have the Rebel deck, and your first draw is, what the hell are you waiting for? Get that shit done. If you're waiting for a sign, well, here it fucking is. So here, whenever we're talking about rest, like this is the sign to just kind of slow down. Even though that card is talking about getting things done and being productive, yes, you can get things done and being productive, but the important part of the Four of Swords is like we need to stop stressing and just breathe. Breathe in to the year. It's not about how everything is going. It is about where you are going. This is a journey, and we're going to talk more about that as we move forward. This is a journey, and whenever I was tapping into your energy, I saw a lot of arrows, like looking for a direction and searching. I think you've been searching for a while, and there's been this point of, I thought this would make me happy, I thought this would make me happy, and it really hasn't been ticking that box for you, and we really need to evaluate where we are going. I hear a lot of wind, and I just see like this arrow is spinning counterclockwise in a circle, and this might be something you can work on whenever you are resting, is try and open yourself up to more spirit guides. And I also see like desert and sand, and I don't know if you live like out in Arizona or out west somewhere, but I'm seeing like a lot of open space and how that can really help you just like kind of connect back to yourself and where you can find yourself and revisiting the past. So your next card is Temperance. Temperance is all about balance and moderation and having patience. And they're talking about, your spirit guides are talking about, like, there hasn't been a lot of moderation, there hasn't been a lot of patience. And I know you're like, I have been patient, and that's okay. The time between spirit world and human world doesn't really exist. It's not really there. So temperance is kind of like, they're saying, like, making you humble, humbling you a little bit, and that's okay. So moderation is really going to be key whenever you're going into any new venture, moving forward, and having a plan. And I feel like a lot of this is like inward, our journey that we need to go inward to find ourselves, because that brings us back to happiness and change, and how they're talking a lot about like winds and shifting. And I see you kind of working with the earth and doing some type of sand work, where I see you with like this like red sand like sifting through your hands. And your Rebel deck card that you have going with that is take a fucking trip. And I'm telling you to like go out and venture into the desert, so maybe this is a sign. Go see some shit, do some new things, talk to people cooler than you. So all things in moderation, yes, but we can't stay in our bubble forever. We have to get out and see the world and experience new things. And I think that's what's going to be taking your journey to a very different level where you are. So they're talking about like the happiness in your life has not been the same as it was last year. Like it means something different. And we've been on this journey for a while, and they're showing me lots of crystals. And I think at one point you had a crystal shop, or you were in a crystal shop. I'm not exactly sure. But there's this one, they're showing me like this clustered clear quartz crystal that really wants to work with you. And I see you like kind of holding it and meditating with it, and like having that enhance your ability to see in your third eye, and meeting a lot of different spirit guides with that crystal kind of amplifying your energy. So your next card is the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles signifies lots of the earth element, like being grounded. I keep talking to you about working with sand, so maybe they're having me pause and stop. So right now they're showing me like a picture of you and like your chakras. So I was planning on doing this later on in the reading, but I guess we're doing it now. That's fine. The heart chakra and the root chakra need to have a little bit more balance. First of all, we need to work on healing that heart chakra, and that can be a journey you go on with yourself. And I think that's where the crystal work comes into play, is how we kind of self-heal. And then the root chakra is coming back down, because we're very high vibe and we're very energetic, and sometimes that makes you feel kind of like tired, like more exhausted just being around other people and doing other things, and that can be hard. And I feel like that's where this Nine of Pentacles is coming in, is we need to find harmony within ourselves. I also feel like we're almost at a perfect balance with everything in our life. Like we got the work life is all right, family life is all right. We need to just have balance with everything, but we're like almost there to the point to where you can taste it. And I also wrote down this very interesting note about maybe a job switch or wanting to do a different career path. And I think that's something that you should definitely start to look into, different types of avenues in which you can make money. And ways you can go about manifesting for yourself. So And whenever we talk about the chakras and needing to heal, I pulled another Rebel deck card for you because I think we do need to take a serious look at having your chakras realigned. I almost feels like so like the smile that you put on and you show for everybody is not always, you're not always happy. When you show, you are happy. And that's a hard thing to say in a reading, and it's a hard thing to bring on, but I think that's where it would behoove you moving forward to go deeper into a self-care routine and how you think things should be for yourself. And it's important to say that whenever you aren't feeling satisfied or happy, like taking control of that. I think that's going to be a journey that you go on in this next decade of your life. Um, and that's going to be where the deep healing is going forward. So your next card from the Rebel deck is you are going through some tough shit. Everyone has their turn. Welcome to yours. Gather your tired ass up and handle it. Unfortunately, we all have that, and I feel like that's just been like the last couple of years of shitstorm after shitstorm, collectively and individually. People have just suffered, and we need a different routine, a different way of dealing and healing within yourself. And maybe that's working with your spirit guides more. Maybe that's trying to find forgiveness of others. And they're telling me to talk about a male who seems older, that we need to work on our forgiveness. And they're showing me lots of like these mini crystals. You have a lot of crystals around you that are just set up for either protection or power points. And I don't know if you work with crystals like that, where you can use the crystals to channel energy and channel messages, but you can. And you should really look into that if you're not already doing that. And so they're stopping the tarot portion, and they want me to do some soul journey cards for you in this reading. So your first one is reflection, and I can show it to you right here. You can't really see it because the writing is backwards, but I'm going to send you a picture of it. So the first one is reflection. Allow your mind to wander to the last time you felt angry. What is it that you were angry at? Now, seeing it from a distance, how can you move to release some of that anger? Sometimes what we want isn't always what we need in the moment that we need it, and it comes to us later. Sometimes not all my messages that I bring forward in a reading fit right now, but they fit later. And I think that's a really good representation of that. And this is also a way in which you can work on that heart chakra energy that we talked about in kind of healing and smoothing things forward. Okay, and so I'm going to go with this quote that you pulled also from the tarot reading, and it says, quote, as you begin to love yourself, you will find that the pain and suffering are only warning signs that you are living against your own truth. And we've been talking a lot about healing chakra systems and how you can move forward, and they're talking about forgiveness now and how that is going to be a major role that comes forward for you. They're also showing me a male, and I don't know if you've had like a male that has passed away, that had like something with the throat or throat cancer, but that is an energy that is around you quite strongly. And hold on, I'm listening. They love you, and they're reaching out to you. And I think that's where these dependent voice deck cards come in. We're jumping all around in this reading, but that's what it is. So the first one is goodbye, and they're just saying goodbye for this time right now. And this male energy is like not going to be coming forward any longer. So if you've noticed somebody coming around you or like smelling smoke or anything, and like having these working hands, that's not going to be coming forward anymore, and they won't be around anymore. Sorry, I had to take a sip of water. Your next card is I Don't See My Light from the Dependent Voice deck. To me, because this deck is a deck that gets you in touch with your psychic abilities and communicating with your dead people, that always shows me that you have a lot of dead people around you. And that just might be the nature of your work and working with clients. And maybe we need to work on cleansing in between clients if you're taking on any type of, and this can be crystal work or seeing Reiki clients, anything, make sure you are cleansing because the dead people are everywhere. And whenever I look at your energy, it's kind of like everywhere. Like, ooh. And I think that's where a lot of this comes from. So whenever we do release work with dead people, they aren't sucking off of our psychic energy anymore. And it can happen with anyone. Sometimes it happens with me, it happens with other colleagues, like it can happen with anyone. And so these dead people that are around you, they're talking a lot about workspace, like the workspace energy could feel very, very heavy, and that just might need a good cleanse. Wherever you're working in that area needs a really good cleanse. We need to just, I don't know if you can, some people can't burn sage because that might be a fire hazard, but maybe I would suggest like any type of cleansing spray that you have or anything you make on your own, like you should cleanse your workspace because there is a lot of dead people, and they're talking about like the crystals not being enough. So you need to really work on that, and that also will help you from being so drained because it's not just the client energy that you're taking with you, it's the dead people too. And that can be really intense, and sometimes we can mistake that for just being drained and just coming in contact with a lot of people or whatever. And it's not the dead people that we need to protect ourselves from, it is the living people. And so cleansing is going to cleanse the energy of the living people that come into your workspace. To, if you're wanting to get rid of the dead people, then I highly suggest doing some spirit release work. If you are wanting to just kind of make it feel lighter, then I would place some protective boundaries where like maybe the dead people can't touch you, maybe they can't go into a certain area of your workspace, etc., etc. Because if you don't kind of help them release and move on, then they're not really going to go anywhere. You can get somebody else to totally do that for you, but I think that's why crystals are coming up a lot for you in this reading because I think you are definitely capable of that work inside of your workspace. Now, I want to talk for the rest of this reading about your other cards that we pulled. And so your next tarot card is the Fool. And the Fool really encompasses having a plan and going on new beginnings, but we don't want to be kind of like naive about it, and we want to know as much information as possible before starting on any new journeys with your business, expansion, anything. So what I wrote down here was going back to our chakra systems and this crystal work that I really see you doing for yourself, not really for other people. It's for yourself, healing for yourself, your own spiritual journey. So the Fool really is talking about kind of like unlocking and healing this heart chakra for this present life. So if there are really good ways of doing that, you can, I really see you working with a lot of crystals and just kind of using your throat chakra and saying out loud like, hey, I forgive you, Dad, I forgive you, husband, I forgive myself for doing X, Y, and Z, for examples. And whenever you're sitting here with this, it's like this clear quartz cluster. I usually don't say this much about crystals, but this clear quartz cluster that is going to be working with you. And I see you doing meditations and also working with this reddish sand, almost like clay or like sand you would find out in the desert. And you are going to work with your spirit guides on healing and mending your heart chakra. It's going to make you feel fuller inside, and I feel like there's this warmth that needs to take over you. So beginnings are definitely going to be happening. I see things shifting with the work environment that we need to work on, and your inner healing, healing with the heart chakra, and working on anything that we kind of brought with us, like baggage-wise, and also deepening your spiritual journey. There's a lot happening with this Fool, which you have a lot of energy moving forward. You do, and that is great, but we also need to look at kind of collecting that for ourselves, and maybe not so much for other people, but just collecting it for you and healing you. And I think that's where these crystals are coming in and have come in, because they're not always just going to go and find other people. They are for you as well, and you need to incorporate that into your journey. And so the next one is the Two of Moss, which is the Two of Wands in traditional tarot. It just looks a little different right now. And that just talks, so the wands represents our fire element and our kind of like divine spark and what kind of gets us up and moving and grooving. That is my interpretation of it. So we went from being kind of like restless with our air sword energy to grounded with our pentacle energies, kind of like getting it together, to now we are looking at our own personal power, at our own personal strength. And I see this, so they're giving me the number 7. So I see the next 7 months as a self-discovery journey. So I also, again, I'm seeing these arrows moving forward, and I see, like, this is different. I'm seeing like a cemetery, a graveyard. So maybe we need to go, if we have any family buried, like pay some respects. That's also a very interesting way to honor relevant ancestors, by the way. So it's going to take over the next 7 months for this self-discovery journey to kind of unfold. I feel like they're talking about new ways to channel, and this is a really great year for it, by the way, channeling, because it's 2022, you know, it's all the twos. It's just a really good numerology number, and this is the year of 6. And hold on. Sorry. I had to stop and look up the number 6 because I was given the number 6 and then I couldn't remember what the number 6 meant for angel numbers. So spiritually, the number 6 individually just means having balance and harmony. And if you're on this journey of self-discovery, like, that's going to be an important key. Don't go all in, but in your spiritual journey, make sure, like, okay, so for me, I try to do one muggle thing for every spiritual thing, so I'm balancing both things. Does that always work out all the time? No. But while you're going on this deeper journey, because they're talking about spirit guides now, whenever you're going on this journey to connect deeper to these spirit guide ancestors, and I see a lot of crystals, a lot of earth workings and earth magic. They're showing me a lot of feathers. I don't know if you have like Native American energy, but they're like any Native American like ancestry or spirits, but I'm definitely seeing like shamanism, Native American vibes and spirit guides right now. So I think those are meant for you to find, especially whenever you're going on this healing journey with the heart chakra. Some more notes I took on the heart chakra would be, so we need to work on any unresolved issues with anger. And they talked a lot about healing the heart wound and going on these journeys, like these shamanic journeys or past life journeys, where you heal your heart wounds of the past. And you are fully capable of doing that on your own. You just have to put the time and effort forward to go on these journeys and discover these moments in time that have happened to you where we were just kind of like used and abused and spoken over, and you need to reclaim all of those moments. And I think some soul retrieval where you find your lost or missing soul pieces will help and assist you with that, and really kind of help you feel fuller again. They're talking about feeling fuller and more yourself. So your last card that we're going to be working on is a self-examination card, and this is from the Soul Journey deck as well, is self-examination. If I were to die tomorrow, what would be left as unfinished business? Oh, that's a really good card. Is there anything I can do in the present to fulfill that unfinished business? Oof, that is definitely something to really, really think about. I see you doing a lot of things this year, and I see it looking really good and deep for you. Spiritually and emotionally, there's going to be a lot of healing that happens, and that will always feel pretty, and sometimes it'll bring up a lot of different things. And they are showing me the throat chakra, and they're talking about speaking things that make you happy, not just things that make you hurt, but we need to work on filling up our happiness cup, and how, it sounds really cheesy, but leading a more joyful life. And they're also showing me like an eagle following you a lot. So as a spirit animal, that would be a really great thing to like research and try to connect to for yourself. But this was your reading. If you have any questions, comments, concerns afterwards, please let me know. I'm sorry. Hold on. My phone, I don't know if you can see it, is I just got it to turn on. Like all of it, the whole screen is cracked. You can kind of see it. But this is why I haven't been communicating, because the whole screen is cracked and I just got it to turn on. So yeah, if you need anything, please let me know and I will be available. But have a good day.